going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fans View Podcast. I'm so happy to have someone I consider at this point a friend and the UFC bantamweight. You know him. You know him from social media. You know him from Dana White's Contender Series. We're having on for the third time, Mr. Malcolm, the Machine Wellmaker. How you feeling, Malcolm? How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm ready to fight. You know, it's almost fight week. We'll be heading into Atlanta real soon. Wrapping up all the local media and then getting ready to go out there, cut this weight, and get into that cage.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's my first question is, obviously you're fighting on short notice. How's the body feeling? How you feeling mentally going into this fight?
Mentally, I'm exactly where I want to be. You know, I never let my foot off the gas. You know, me and my management held on to the hope that Atlanta was going to happen for me, even though it started looking, very unlikely at some points. A lot of things wasn't going our way. I held on to the fact that it should be happening. So I trained as hard as I could. I took care of my body, and I maintained my weight decent enough that I'm going to be able to make weight and I'm going to be able to go in there and perform.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to my next question is, did you kind of know before you even stepped out of that cage in Kansas City, UFC Atlanta has to happen? I have to fight at home. Was that something that went through your head?
Absolutely, man. I did a meeting with the commentators, and me and Paul Felder talked about it, and he was like, man, you got to have something. If you want it on the mic, make sure you have it in your head when we get in there. And I told him about Atlanta, and he actually cued me to bring it back up because I forgot in the moment. So shout out to Paul Felder. And, he brought it up. I called for it. And after that knockout, it was no doubt in my heart that Atlanta had to happen. And, we had to go to some lengths to get it done. They called Chris Mutino.
Yeah. Perfect. Again, segue, perfect. Can you, without getting too far into details and stuff like that, can you talk a little bit about, what that matchmaking process has been like? Obviously, you're taking this fight on, I think, 9 days' notice when it finally got signed.
Yeah, the matchmaking process, it's something that is new to me as far as the UFC goes. Obviously, I believe the very first week after my fight, Sean Shelby, they went to work immediately trying to get guys, as far as offers out, filling people out, seeing who would and wouldn't take the fight. Obviously, it was already fairly short notice, 6 weeks, not really time for a full camp. And as we got closer to the fight and things were falling through, I was doubtful. I was very doubtful. And, it got to the point that I asked my management, I say, hey, you telling me Sean Shelby is saying it's going to happen? I was like, should I have faith in that? My management told me, I think Sean's going to make it happen. Yeah. So it was new to me, but they got it done, man.
Fighting in Atlanta, obviously, it's as close to home as we can get with the UFC. How's that hitting different?
Man, it's Kansas City was, fairly far away from my home. There's no telling where the next place I'm going to fight at. Vegas is almost all the way across the country for us. So it was always, hard for me to imagine being able to get a good crowd from my hometown to come and watch me compete in the UFC. So for it to be Atlanta, literally driving distance from my house, just a couple hours away, a drive that, me and my friends and family make all the time, it's a dream come true, man. I'm super excited to have something so convenient so early in my career and once again in a dream matchup.
Absolutely. What can fans expect to see from you, this version of you? Obviously, again, we're in Atlanta, but a lot of things changed in your life since the last time we talked. You're a father now. You're blowing up on social media. How has that kind of changed the mindset?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I just am in a place of feeling like I'm in my purpose now. Every day, obviously having my son in front of me, it gives me a reason to create a definite legacy. I'm so excited about seeing his expression when he's old enough to process me in the UFC, processing seeing me knock out Cameron Simon in my debut, processing seeing me have one of the best Contender Series knockouts there's been. Like, these moments are moments to where he's going to run to school and tell all his friends, my dad did this. So that drives me to just accomplish great things. And obviously, I'm not working my 9 to 5 no more. Every day, my main focus is training and improving my skill set. So every single day, my mind is focused on my sport. It's focused on me as an athlete. And I just feel so prepared, so ready as if I wasn't already before this.
Yeah, absolutely. So going into this fight, what's the perfect outcome in your head? Do you want to be tested, or do you just want to go ahead and put this guy to sleep early?
You know, being tested is something that I've had done on the local scenes. You know, I've had some tough fights on the local scenes against guys that, you know, took me to my limit. And I'm not saying that I'm not willing to go to deep waters because I train for that. I train to fight all the way to the end of the fight, a hard fight the whole time. But I want the money. I want a $50,000 knockout bonus again. I want highlight reels, and I want to make waves in the division. And the way to do that is to go in there and finish him early.
Absolutely, absolutely. So to kind of wrap this thing up, Malcolm, what does the rest of 2025 look for? You've obviously shown you ain't afraid to get in there again, you know, on short notice. What's 2025 look like? Can we see the machine in the octagon again after this Saturday?
Yes, 100%. Before the end of the year in 2025, you will see me fight again. You know, obviously, given I'm healthy and everything else is working smooth. Possible you might see me twice. It depends. You know, if I keep going in these fights, getting guys out of there early, not taking much damage, there's no reason I can't compete, you know, every couple of months. So 100% you'll see me fight at least once, maybe even twice.
Okay. And last question for you before we let you go. Who's in the machine sights right now? Who is it currently in the division that you'd really just love to get in there and mix it up with?
You know, to be honest, man, I think you put my name with a ton of these bantamweights, and it makes so many exciting matchups. But before I even got into the UFC, and even now being in the UFC, one of the names that gets me excited, gets all my fans excited, and their fans excited is Peyton Talbot, man. You know, he got in a little bit before me. The hype he built, the performances he put on is something that I'm trying to follow up. Yeah. And I think we have similar styles. I think we have similar fan bases. And I think that in itself, me and him could be a headlining event one day for ourselves. So Peyton Talbot, man, is somebody that I respect, and I would love to share the cage with one day.
For sure, brother. We love having you on. Thank you for coming on again, and all the best of luck, man. June 14th, we're gonna make it.
Thank you.
We're gonna make it another special night.
Let's do it,
for
brother.
the machine.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. You know where to find him. Check him out on Instagram, on Facebook. You know, everywhere. And don't forget, June 14th, right there on ESPN, UFC Fight Night out of Atlanta. We gonna watch some magic happen. But most importantly, guys, don't forget, support Malcolm and call your mom.